The grass is not always greener on the other side. As far as it relates to relationships and dating, a lot of us, right, if we were to be sincere with ourselves, have at some point in time in our lives had people who are, be it friends that we've been in relationship with, that we had some kind of close bond with, that were they were good to us, if I may say. But the thing with humans is, and I include myself in that category, is we tend to always believe that we can do better, or there will be somebody better if we move on, or when we move on we're going to always find someone better. The problem with this statement is this: in this modern world where we live, there's not a lot of good people. There's not a lot of good men, and there's not a lot of good women. So that's belief system that you would always, that if you go on in life you would always find better people, it's a farce, it's a lie, it's not true. Some of us have been in relationships before with people who, when you look back at it now, those people were saints, those people were the best, those people were people who we should have hung on to and kept in our lives. But because of that mentality of I can do better, or the grass is greener on the other side, we tend to just look at it and say, oh, it's just one person, we can always do better. But even me in my personal life, there are people I've had dealings with, I'm talking about years ago, that when I sit down now and I look back at it, I'm talking about relationships, I'm like, wow, those people were actually very good to me. Those people were actually very good, and I should have kept that relationship going, or that association going. We all have such people in our lives. The whole idea of this video is to let people know that the grass is never greener on the other side. And there is no one human being that does not have his flaws. I, for one, have been very fortunate when it comes to women and when it comes to dealing with women. You know, even though on my channel I talk about, you know, vetting women, how women should do better and whatnot. The purpose of this channel, or the purpose of most of the things I talk about, is not female bashing, because I mean, I have sisters. I don't have a brother, I have sisters. And majority of the people who have impacted my life, for the most part, positively, have been women. You know, majority of the best relationships I've had in the past, you know, I've never had I wouldn't say I've had a bad relationship, you know, I haven't. You know, I've always been fortunate. Most of the women I've met in my life in the earlier days they've been wonderful people. You know, some of them I still communicate with till today. They've been awesome. And when I hear people's stories about the bad and negative relationship situations they have, it makes me wonder, and it makes me look at life a different way. I hear people, I have friends that tell me all kinds of nasty things that they are going through in today's world. But one thing always stands out. When I ask them, has it always been like this? And they always say, oh, I had this person, I had that person a couple of years ago who was so wonderful, who was this, oh, I should have known. And that is a common theme among us. And that lets me believe that if you have a good person in your life today, be it man, be it woman, never think that you can do better. Because life is so funny. Never think you can do better. And never ever think that the grass is always greener on the other side. Again, this only applies if the person you have is willing to do anything for you, is willing to go that extra mile for you, willing to hold you down, willing to be there for you. These kind of people are very rare. They are very rare. And now I'm speaking about both genders, man and woman. For the women, I look back at how women were just as early or as recent as 10, 15 years ago, and I look at how women are today. There is a clear difference to me, a huge difference. Women of just a couple of years ago had certain things or certain mindsets that is fast becoming a thing of the past. You know, with this influx of the baby mama thing, the feminism, women wanting to be a certain kind of way or have a certain kind of character. you know you see more women who are kind of selling themselves or selling their bodies for money. There's all sorts going on. I mean, I had a friend the other day telling me about a girl he had dealings with, and then for 2 years, and then he didn't know she was a prostitute. I mean, it's crazy. You know, I just want people to know this. If you have a good person today, I mean, you have a woman today, and that woman is holding you down. She's being supportive. She's being great. It doesn't even have to be in a relationship. It could just be a friend. People like that are very rare. People like that, you do everything humanly possible to hold them down. And conversely, if you have a man who is supportive, who is there for you, who at least, I always use this skill to analyze people. I say, okay, I write down a list of 10 things I like about that person, and I write down another list of 10 things I don't like. And I start ticking them. If the things I like outweigh the things I don't like, then that person is a good person. The reason why I say do that is because as human beings, we all have flaws and we all have good sides. So by the time you tick it out and you see that, and you're sincere about it, and you see that what you like far outweighs what you don't like, then that person should be a keeper, considering the fact that no one is perfect. So please, guys, never think that way, that the grass would always be greener, because it's never greener. It is never greener on the other side. And this applies to both genders. If you're a man and then you have a good friend who is a lady or who's a female, and then she's supportive, she's there for you, she does everything humanly possible, she's someone you can pick up the phone and call at any time, and then she's always there to hold you down, even though she has her little flaws and whatnot. Those are people you hold on to. Those are people you keep. Those are people you go the extra mile for. If you're a woman and you have a guy who is there for you, who you know that, oh, this guy is a good guy, those are people you hold on to. Those are people you keep in your life. Those are people you go the extra mile for, because you know that those people are with you. And then I would flip it as well, because it's not about the people who treat you well. It's also about how you treat people. There are some of us who are terrible people, we're terrible human beings. We are terrible human beings. Even when we look at ourselves and our character towards other people, we are disgusted about ourselves. So if you look at yourself in the mirror and you see that you are not a good person, or you're not a good human being, you sitting down and expecting someone to be good to you and say, oh, this person is good to me, even though I'm not good to him, then you're a selfish person. When I speak about people being good to you, you should also Look at yourself and ask yourself, am I good to that person? Am I good to that person? So it's a two-way street, not a one-way street. It's not about people being good to you and you being mean or wicked. It's about you also being good to that person and you also assessing yourself and the value you bring to that person's life. So in the long and to cut the long story short, when we look back at our lives, I use myself as an example. You know, speaking about friendships, speaking about relationships, there are women I have dealt with in the past, talking about years gone by, that when I look back at now, I feel or I think that those people were wonderful people and they were very, very, very they were great people, awesome people. And I would think, oh, these are people I should have kept in my life. These are people that we should have been friends till today, but we're not friends because of probably maybe on my path, or maybe most likely on my path, I felt, oh, I have my life to live. You know, it's always going to be greener on the other side. But I've realized that it's not always so. You should know that it's not always greener on the other side. And if you have good people in your life, if you have people who you are good to and are equally good to you, and they are there for you, and you know that these people are wonderful people to you, we should keep them. We should do everything humanly possible to keep them, because the grass is never greener on the other side. And I think it's a message that we need to sound out to our young people of today. Because in this day and age, we are always so fast to write people off. We're always so fast to judge. We're always so fast to say, oh, even judge people who are good to us, people who have been there for us. We need to learn to keep good people, because good people are hard to come by today. Having said that, I would like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye bye.